Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about how much experience do you actually need when you get into an appointment setting position. Because I get this question a lot. I actually had a call today with a student of mine and we were going over this. Had some limiting beliefs, but we sorted through it, and I really just want to show you guys today what I went over on the call. And hopefully it'll help you too and break some limiting beliefs of yours, because honestly, experience is not going to be as important as you think it is. And let me show you why. So with experience, right? The typical narrative is that, oh, you need to be super experienced, you need to have already been on multiple positions, you would have already set a ton of deals and have them closed, and just like you feel like you need all this experience on your resume. And while that does help, there's some things why having just experience is not going to help you all the way, because there's a lot of people, right? There's a lot of people that get into this game. A lot of them are starting out. A lot of them have some experience, and a lot of them have a lot of experience. These are the type of people, these are going to be the archetypes of people that are going to be reaching out to these business owners trying to go for that same position, okay? And the way we get around that, and I'm going to be speaking mainly to the ones who feel like they don't have any experience, who genuinely don't have experience, or are just trying to get the position. So what I went over with the guy today on our call earlier is, I got him to list out some things that could back up as experience. So for example, ignore this, ignore intro, ignore background. Well, background, this is what we're going to go over today. This and this, I can actually go over later on. But essentially, we did a little exercise where we went on the whiteboard, and then I got him to list out all the things he's been able to do in the online business space. So for example, he's had 3 years in the online business space. He's run an SMMA, he's done online coaching, and he's done copywriting. He signed multiple clients in all the business models mentioned, and I said he could throw in some revenue numbers if that makes him feel more reassured and comfortable. He's learned the systems needed and how to attract, send, and close clients because of this. Why he chose to transition, wanted to focus on one skill and master it, aka appointment setting. But he was also going to school, so he tried everything to balance that and business, but he found it more sustainable to focus on one thing. Built a personal brand to 1K on Twitter, documenting his journey. So this guy's got 1,000 followers, 1,000 followers on Twitter already. So what I'm trying to say here is, and what I tried to do with this exercise, is I wanted him to show and kind of reframe his mind the fact that he has more experience that he gives himself credit for. Maybe not in appointment setting exclusively, but that doesn't matter as much. This is what matters. It's trying to reframe your mind and trying to look things at a different perspective. If you've done any of these, if you have any achievements in the online business space or in sales or in appointment setting in general, that already counts in my eyes as experience. And in the comments, you can feel free to disagree. I'm more than open to it, but what I'm trying to get across is the fact that you've probably done a lot of things in your life, a lot of things in this online business space that could all contribute as tidbits of experience for when you start appointment setting. And even with appointment setting, right? Experience is not as important compared to sales. When you're getting into high ticket sales, my high ticket sales people will vouch for this. Most people are just looking for killers, right? They're not really taking on newbies, those who don't have experience, unless they see potential in them or know them already or whatnot. There's a few caveats. But with setting, it's more of an entry level opportunity, which you can then transition into high ticket sales. But with this entry level opportunity, which is appointment setting, experience is not going to be as much of an importance. So getting back to this, I also said he can also mention how he's being mentored closely by me. An appointment setting coach has done over 750K plus worth of deals set and built his entire personal brand around it. You can name drop me if you want. And when we did this, the more we listed out these points of experience, these points of reference, all these reasons why he should feel like he's got enough experience and he's qualified enough to apply for the position that he wants, the more he felt reassured, the more confident he felt. I can even tell through his tone of voice and the look on his face in the Zoom meeting that we had. And this is the exercise I want you to do too. So if you're watching this, I want you to just list out as many points as possible or pieces of experience you've picked up along the way. So for example, like if you've been in online business, it doesn't matter if you failed it or not, or it's not worked out or you're still figuring it out. That's still a point of experience. You've got to realize there's a lot of people that are getting into this game And it's going to be their first ever time getting into online business. It's going to be the first ever time getting into appointment setting. It's going to be the first ever time having a conversation via DM and learning how to set these meetings, how to follow up. All this stuff is going to be new to a lot of people. So if you've had even a tidbit of experience in online business, if you've had a setting position in the past, whether it worked out or not, it doesn't matter. That's still experience. There's no right or wrong level. Like how much experience, to me, it's different for everyone. So you just want to list all the things that's going for you. Anything, as many points as possible, as many pieces of experience as possible that you can leverage and use when you apply for these positions as experience, right? If you've, let's say, even if it wasn't that many meetings, you've booked meetings in the past. Like I said, if you've done online biz before, if you've done an online coaching business, and you were able to set meetings, that's still experience in my eyes. And by the way, you shouldn't wait till you have a ton of experience. I'm going to say experience a lot in this video, so take a shot every time I say the word experience. But as you get more in the game, the only way you're going to get more experience is by actually doing the thing itself, is by actually getting more reps and actually being in the field, not waiting for some magic moment and then feeling like you're qualified. No. Just list out all the things that's going for you, any tidbits of experience that you've had. You can even authority hijack. So you can say how you're learning from an appointment setting coach, aka me, and you're learning all the basics, all the principles of appointment setting, and you're ready to put it to use. You can even reference me, my YouTube channel. Okay? So I hope this makes sense. You don't need as much experience as you think, although it does help a lot. I'm not going to discredit the fact that it doesn't help. It does help a lot, but we need to start somewhere, and we need to be, most importantly, resourceful. Okay, so be resourceful. Try and extract many pieces of experience that you've had as possible, and then just combine that with volume. So I say volume because obviously that's important. You need to be shooting your shots. You need to be applying to a lot of people, and you need to know where to find these people. So if you're having trouble with that, go on my YouTube channel. But obviously you're going to get yeses, you're going to get nos. You're going to have positions, you're going to stumble across, job postings, and they're going to want you to have experience. They're going to want you to have X amount of years, at X amount of meetings booked, whatever, right? And then there's going to be others where they don't really mind if you have experience or not, and they're willing to train you. So just apply to as many as possible, as many quality positions. Obviously vet them out and qualify first, but volume is going to be your best friend here too. It's a numbers game. The more numbers you do, the more interviews you're going to book as a process. And another reason why experience doesn't matter as much as you can, as much as you think, is because that is just one part of the equation. It's experience plus character traits, aka potential. So you can have person A. Let's actually draw this out. You can have person A here. He's a hot shot. And you can have person B. You can have this guy who's had years and years in the game. He's booked a ton of meetings, he's made a lot of money, right? And then person B, who, maybe hasn't had as much experience. But let's say this person A, and how, you're probably asking, how are they going to know this? How are they going to find out if they don't have the character traits? Well, it's going to come across in the messaging. It's going to come across when they actually do the interview. But let's say this guy, hops on a meeting for the setting offer, and he shows up late. He doesn't have his camera on. You can tell he doesn't work hard. He's lazy. He's pretty arrogant. He, just interrupts every time the interviewer is going to say something. All these character traits, these negative character traits that come together, and it's soon going to overshadow, because there's going to be people like this. There's going to be people out there with massive egos and think they're the best. But while they might have the experience, all these character traits, these negative ones, just overshadow the experience that they've had. Therefore, we go to person B, for example, who maybe doesn't have as much experience, but the interviewer can just tell, or the business owner can just tell, This guy has a ton of potential. He has a lot of potential. He showed up to the meeting on time. He had his camera on. You can tell he was very hardworking. He knows what he wants to do in life. He has a vision. He's coachable. You know, he's learning the game, learning the journey by watching my YouTube videos and other people's YouTube videos and content, taking resources they've invested in themselves, and they're just an overall killer. If they get that impression, and they get along with them too. This is another thing as well. Maybe you don't want to hear it, but sometimes people will just hire someone they like more simply because they like them more compared to the other guy who didn't like as much, but maybe has had the credentials. They'll probably, if this guy, let's say this is the interviewer, if Mr. Interviewer hops on a call with this guy and gets like this impression out of him and likes him more, walks away from the interview liking him more and seeing him more as a better fit, then this guy, he's just blabbering on, he's arrogant, he's lazy, he's not coachable, he thinks he knows it all, and he feels like he's not a good fit, who do you think he's gonna go with? He's gonna go with this guy. While he may not have as much experience or time in the game as he does right now, in that very moment. Experience is earned, character traits is not as easily earned, alright? So, going back to the point of how much experience do you need for a setting position to start applying, you know, if you're lacking in this department, then you need to make up for it for your character, for your integrity. You need to make it come across in your interview, you need to make it come across in every single department. So, because if I was the interviewer, I'd go with this guy more than this guy. This is just an example too. Don't just take it with a grain of salt. Okay, so I hope this makes sense. Experience is just one piece of the puzzle. There's also other things that come into play. Shoot your shot. The more people you apply to, the more interviews you're going to get, and then the more positions you're going to be accepted in. And most importantly, be resourceful. Okay, so anything that contributes to you feeling like you have experience, go chuck it in anyway. It's better than nothing. Even if you worked a 9 to 5, like a sales job, like a 9 to 5 sales job. Let's say you're working in, you don't even have to say the shop that you're working. Just say you did 9 to 5 sales in the past. Even as a part-time job, as a full-time, whatever. That's still something. I'd rather you go in there and list off as many of these points and show that you have some level of experience than just going in there feeling like you're not ready enough, feeling like you don't have any experience, and just going in there with nothing to show for. Alright? I'd rather you go in there with this mindset than this mindset. And then the last thing I'm going to go into as well is a bit of mindset. Like, no one's going to give you permission to feel like you're ready. Okay? No one is going to give you the permission to feel like you're ready or that you are ready except for you. So permission is a big thing. You need to have that internal permission, that internal confidence. Let me write this down. External permission is not as good as internal permission. Okay? You need to give yourself the permission first in your head, inside of you, that you are ready for this. You are ready for this job. You're ready to take on appointment setting. You're ready to take on high ticket sales. Compared to waiting for some external event to happen, for someone else to tell you that you're ready, and then going for it. This is not what we're here to do, guys. We're here to be killers. We're here to have our internal permission to give ourselves validation first that we are ready. And now we should start from where we are right now and be resourceful than waiting for something external. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And if you're watching this and you already have a lot of experience, but maybe right now you're just in the process of finding another offer, also keep this in mind too. This goes for you guys too. Like, maybe you do have the experience, but make sure you keep your character traits in check. Make sure you're doing things like showing up on the call in time, having your camera on, being respectful, being cordial, being coachable, being just an overall great guy or girl. Have those character traits along with the experience, and it should not be that hard to get a position. Okay, so I had to start somewhere too. As much as people don't want to believe it, I had to start somewhere too. I was a noob at one point, but we just have to be resourceful from here. All right. So I hope that makes sense. Do this exercise, list as many points as possible, any reference points, any pieces of evidence that proves that you have the experience that you need and that you're more than ready to go, and just go from there. All right, so I hope this video helps. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe if you're new to the channel. Good luck with your setting journey, and one-on-one mentorship spots, again, after, mind you, link in the description if you want to apply. There's only 3 left, so apply down below if you want to work one-on-one with me. Okay, so hope that answers the question, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.